What if you could develop a luxury HMO with a cinema, a gym, and even a putting green? And what if you could do this using not a single penny of your own money? Aaron and Ellis did exactly this, and this property rents for almost £1,000 per month per room, banking them £2,500 profit per month. Watch the video to find out how.
Welcome to the podcast, guys. If you're watching this video, I'm joined by Aaron and Ellis from A&E Property. Hi, guys. Give a wave.
Hiya.
So Aaron and Ellis were on a call with me the other day. We were doing an in-depth interview for YPN, for Your Property Network, and they were sharing with me their story of how to get started, how they got started in property, how they raised money for deals. They weren't born with kind of silver spoons in their mouths. They didn't have a load of cash to start with, how they've overcome that challenge. They share with me a number of flip deals, come some development projects. And today, because what they were talking about was so cool, I wanted to drag them on to the YouTube channel, onto the podcast to share one of their amazing deals, to just continue to showcase the amazing things that ordinary people, and I hope they won't mind me saying that, can achieve in property. So guys, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
So the deal we're going to talk about today is actually the property you're sat in right now. So we can see a little snippet of it in the background. And this is a really, really cool build. We're going to see some pictures in a minute of great example of a property you bought, using none of your own money. It's a no money left in deal when you refinance. So we're going to talk about how that works and how this particular property was valued. It's a kind of ultra high end HMO, achieving really, really amazing rents and providing amazing places to live for your very lucky tenants, and makes a significant monthly cash flow. So ticks a lot of boxes, this one. But tell me about it. So whereabouts in the UK is this? What was this property when you first saw it?
So this is in Medway in Kent, and it originally was a 3/4 bedroom house. It had a garage to the side, although the garage is not properly built. It was just more like a shell as such, and it had an open back. But we've converted the garage, we extended out the back, we've gone into the loft. You know, we've really maximised the size of this property. And one of the cool things was that there was also an outbuilding in the back, like a garage as such, like an L-shaped garage. And we joked around about putting another bedroom out there, you know, but obviously that wouldn't really be feasible. But, you know, we thought of some cool ideas that we could do. And it's great seeing this HMO come to fruition and really basically how designs in our head come into life.
Okay, so a very ordinary looking building when you saw it, a very ordinary looking house, just on the market, and you guys spotted that, hey, we can do something spectacular with this place, really extend it, really kind of maximize it, because this isn't your first HMO, this is not your first rodeo here, you know, you've done quite a number of these before. And what was the situation when it was on the market? Was it, you know, was it empty? Was it just a residential house? What was the deal with it?
Yeah, so it was a residential house. It was in really bad state of repair. I don't believe it was being lived in. I don't think it was being lived in, was it?
No, it wasn't being lived in.
Yeah, it wasn't being lived in. But yeah, we put an offer in. We managed to secure it. We secured it for 245. However, throughout the process of purchasing, the vendor spoke to the solicitor and said that he is happy to knock off 5k because the boiler no longer works. So, I mean, we was happy to get the 5k off, but I mean, little did he know the whole thing got gutted anyway.
Yeah, so, that boiler was going anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah.
Okay, so £240,000 in the southeast of England as well. Now, that's a kind of rarity in itself, but maybe Medway isn't quite as expensive. I don't know the area, so.
Yeah, so properties range from like about 240, but Yeah, it's 240, 280. Some of these properties we just purchased one recently for 290. So they do vary, but they are closer to 300 now. Yeah.
Okay, great. And this is no light refurb. Okay, this is no liquor paint and the new bathroom, is it? So, you spent in the region of 250, 260,000 pounds on this place. Now that's a that's the same amount of money that you paid for it. We're gonna, in a few minutes' time, we're going to find out, whether or not you were crazy or whether or not you actually really did know what the end value of this thing's going to be. And it's no spoiler to say that you guys knew exactly what you were doing. But tell me about the works. Tell me what you've done to the property.
So the garage we've converted into a living space, which is what we're actually sitting in right now. So we punched through the exterior wall and made this garage like the communal area. So this is the kitchen dining area. We also extended off the rear of the garage under permitted development by another 3 meters. And then we also gone up in the loft under permitted development and enlarged the loft. So loft dormer, double loft dormer, to give us that 7th bedroom. And the room up there is humongous, about 23 square meters.
Wow. Okay. So you've gone from a 3-4 bedroom house to a 7-bedroom property through extensive,
yes,
building works on there. Tell me about the kind of like the softer elements of it as well. So, I can see the look and feel of it. It's not, it's not your Magnolia rental this by any stretch of the imagination. So tell me about the sort of design process and what you've brought into it to kind of achieve the kind of rents we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yeah, so always start off with a bit of mood board. I've used a lot of modern kind of styles, modern luxury styles, and acoustic paneling. You can see a chandelier behind us as well. We've got murals, so like wallpaper, which is really thick, high quality wallpaper, just to give nice features and nice effects inside those acoustic panels there, and nice lightings on those panels as well. And we have the same thing throughout the bedrooms. We have different color schemes in different bedrooms. We've got a lot of gold finishes. We've got black kitchen with gold finishes, and we've upgraded things like the beds just to make them look more luxurious instead of the basics. And where we have got some basic stuff, so we'll still get stuff from IKEA and stuff like that. But what we'll do is we'll add gold handles and stuff like that to try and make it look a lot more classy,
Sure. Okay. And and it really pops, this place, doesn't it? It looks amazing. But so let's talk about the kind of rents that you're achieving on this then. And I know, it's not dissimilar look and feel to, across your portfolio, across the HMO portfolio. So you're getting on average £928 per month per room. Are these en-suite rooms or what?
Yeah, so the great thing about this building when we bought it is that the rooms were quite large to start with. And we've extended out to the left here, the garage, and gone out the back and made this the kitchen. The old kitchens in your traditional Victorian houses, which have the long kitchens, was then able to make that a bedroom. So, we've got a long bedroom there. We've got kitchenettes in most of the bedrooms. We've got sofas in some of them. We've got 65-inch TVs in a couple of them as well. All of them have en suites except for one, which has its own off suite. We've got the basins are gold. We've got really great features out the back in the garden as well, which are just phenomenal.
Okay, and that's a high room rent. So who are your tenants? Who are the type of people that live in your properties and can afford and want to share accommodation, live in shared accommodation, but in this kind of luxury kind of environment?
So yeah, our tenant profile is the professional market. It's typically doctors, nurses, and people commuting to London. A lot of people will work from home, or they'll go to the train station, which is about 8-minute walk. And yeah, all of the in this area, there's also a very large hospital. So a lot of the doctors will live here and walk to work as well.
Okay, and so how do you kind of how does renting a room in this stunning building compare to someone kind of renting a flat on their own for themselves? Is there a kind of crossover point at which they're like, well, you know what, it's going to cost me £1,000 a month to live in a fairly grotty flat, and I can live in this amazing house instead? How do those two kind of numbers compare?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of other HMOs which are on the lower end of our prices. You've then got you start your 1-bedroom flats, which probably start in the region of £1,200, and then that's probably going to be your basic flat. You've obviously got bills to pay on top of that. You've got council tax and stuff like that. Our HMOs are priced in between that, so it's kind of like a bridging point between your lower end of a HMO and the beginning prices of like a decent 1-bedroom flat, basically. So we kind of fall in the middle of that.
Okay, and your tenants would be what sort of age, you know, and does that reflect on the fact that they're kind of happy, they want to live in a slightly more sort of communal environment?
Yeah, so our tenants range from about 22 to about 40 on average. We do have a couple of tenants that are slightly older. Yeah.
Okay, and you know, very happy living in this sort of communal environment. Do you do anything else to the buildings at all in terms of bringing in kind of communal facilities to, I guess, kind of you know, ensure that it's a kind of harmonious environment to live in?
Yeah, so we've got some really great stuff out the back. Like I said, we had an outbuilding, and it's like an L-shaped garage. And what we've done is we've separated that into two, as in really bad disrepair. We've separated that into two separate rooms. One room we've made into a really cool cinema room. It's all black. It's got a projector in there. We've got reclining sofas. There's a table. You know, we've got the pop art of all the movie things and hung on the wall. That's a really great room. And also we've got a fully functioning gym in another room. So we've got kitted out with dumbbells, exercise bike, multi-gym, you know, rowing machine, etc. And then in the garden itself, we've got some nice seating area, barbecue, and we've got putting green as well. And the idea behind some of this stuff was a harmonious HMO is a HMO where all of the tenants get along. And what we find is when they do get along, they work together in terms of doing the bins, helping each other out. You know, just when they get along, they want to stay longer. And also there's a lot less problems that are caused and everyone's happier. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to integrate people together and get them to socialize instead of locking themselves in their rooms, which some people prefer to do that, which is fine. But it might just be that they just need to kind of like break the ice with their other housemates and build relationships like that. So we're trying to create an environment where we can encourage that, and everybody will be very happy to live there.
Okay, so this is a co-living house, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just an HMO, not just a room to rent, lock the door, you know, lock yourself away, hide from the other tenants. You're actually encouraging people to kind of live together with amazing facilities. This is definitely the first one I've done that's got putting green in it. So that's a first for me. So, okay, let's talk some numbers now. So we know what you've spent on the building, including all the kind of additional fees, everything else. You spent £530,000 on this place that you've, you know, including the purchase price. So your gross rental on this is just over £6,500 a month, the amount of rent that you're collecting on there. Now, it would be really easy to think, well, there's no way that you can have, you know, uplifted the value on the bricks and mortar basis by this kind of amount in a sort of standard street. So talk me through the kind of valuation side of things. So this property revalued at £800,000. I'm right in saying that?
Yeah, so we have other HMOs in the area. Because this is also a 7-bedroom sui gen HMO, it needs to be valued on a commercial basis. So we're valuing it on a commercial basis. It's no longer bricks and mortar, and that means that we're now valuing based on the income. Because the income is higher, the valuation comes out at £800,000 on this property.
Okay, so let's talk about commercial valuations versus bricks and mortar. And I know we talk about more about that in our extended interview, but
yeah,
bricks and mortar valuation, you come along, there's 20 houses in the street. Yours is a bit like the one that sold next door. So, it's going to be worth very broadly what the one next door is worth. It might be a bit more if you've done yours up or tidied it up a little bit, but it's going to be based on a comparable sold basis. When this is based on a commercial valuation, this is actually linked directly to the rental it's achieved, not the kind of bricks and mortar side of things, not what other properties are valued at in the area. So can you just talk me through how that works?
Yeah, sure. So like you say, as a bricks and mortar value, you're comparing it to other houses which are similar in the area. Well, this is now a business. So this business is producing an income, and what they'll typically do is they'll use that yearly income. They'll apply a discount for some fees or for some costs. They'll then use a yield to multiply that and come up with a figure which is going to be the valuation. So that calculation is how you get to the £800,000.
Okay, and how essential is this kind of commercial valuation on you guys being able to get kind of all the money back out of the deal? How essential is it that it's valued on that basis?
So that enables us to continue to scale. It enables us to refinance, pull those funds back out, and at the end of the day, we're also using other people's money. So what that means, we can pull their money back out. They can get their money back. We can pay them back their interest that they're owed, and we get to keep the house, and it's cash flowing a high net income per month.
Okay, and it's clearing about £2,500 a month, net income after those running costs. Which is phenomenal from one property. I know you guys kind of self-manage as well. So you haven't got those letting agent fees in there. So any challenges on this one? So every deal is unique. Some come with unique challenges. Any hiccups along the way on this one?
Yeah, so one of the hiccups we had is issue with the builder. So halfway through the project, we had to change builder, which naturally led to an increase in build cost. Other challenges we've had some issues with some professionals. We had some issues with some professionals and consultants not doing things correctly, architects with some volume issues on cubic meterage on the loft extension, and little things like that. But as you go through property, every project is going to have an issue, and it's how you overcome them issues as quickly as you can, prevent them from happening again, and move forward.
Okay, and let's talk about raising private finance for this deal as well, and an investor coming in. So this is, am I right in saying it's not a long-term joint venture with a partner? You're not, you don't own this property with someone else for the next 10 or 20 years. This is a transactional deal where someone's lending the money into the project, financing the, potentially the purchase price and the development works, and then at the point at which you refinance, they get their capital back and their interest back on their money, and then they can choose to potentially go again with you guys or do something else. So it's a transactional thing here rather than a joint venture deal over a long, a co-ownership over a long period of time. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the way we set these up is when you go into a joint venture with a partner, if you're going to buy and sell the property, a joint venture is a lot easier because you're going to be in there for 12 months and then you're going to sell the property on, and then everyone splits their ways. But doing like a HMO or like a cash flowing project, you're going to plan to own for a very long time. You're basically setting up to marry that person for life nearly. So what we like to do, what's good about the way it works is we'll take an investor's money in, we'll purchase the property with the investor's money and some of our own money. We'll then get a development loan to cover the build cost proportion. And then we'll do the project, build out, and then we'll refinance back on the back end, pay the investor off, give them their interest as well, and then we retain the asset, and our investors are happy with that, and then we go again. So we just then need to find another project, and we can pay a good interest rate or an attractive interest rate for that.
Okay, fantastic. And what's the timescale on this project from the day you collect the keys, you bought the property, to kind of first tenant moving in? What's the timescale on that?
So it was in the region of 12 months, just over 12 months. We did anticipate it to be a lot shorter than that. However, we did have the hiccups with the builder, which caused significant delays, unfortunately. But most of our HMOs at which we are building, where the timescales are around 3 to 4 months on the build, and then another couple of months in getting the final bits finished, sign-offs, and getting the property rented.
Okay, guys, well, what a cool deal. And, like amazing looking place, amazing numbers behind it. I know this is just one of your projects. We talked about some others in our kind of extended interview. And if people are interested in learning more about that, you can click on the link that's appearing on the screen, go to the YPN website and trial the free membership there, free access to the app and everything. But guys, it's been great talking to you again today to get this, details about this deal out to the wider public, just showcasing amazing things, truly extraordinary things that can be achieved by everyday guys in property. Hope you don't mind me saying that. It's been a pleasure to talk to you on the podcast, on the YouTube channel today, and we look forward to seeing more of your deals here showcased to our viewers. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Ant.
Thank you.